Alright everybody, another week has passed. Another weekend of trying to get stuff done here. Since the 244, the transmission is slipping so bad, that's why I'm trying to hurry to get this done. I did order all of my gaskets and seals, and they came in this week. Here's my awesome pink light that everyone loves. So, here's all the gaskets and seal, well, what I haven't used yet, but everything is here minus one. I forgot one thing, and it kind of sucks because it kept me from going any further today. I had to stop early. The rear main seal back here, the plate that covers this, it goes around, that the seal slips in and rides over the back here. Where is it? It's in a box over here. But anyway, I forgot the gasket for that, to order that, so that's holding me back at this point. But I did get it cleaned up. It's all cleaned up really well, painted. It's flipped over just because obviously I'm waiting for the rear main seal, or the gasket, and then I can put that on, the pan back on, front cover and front crank seal, all the other crap that goes along with that. And my dad's he has a bunch of brackets he's going to get cleaned for me, and then I'll repaint everything. I'm trying to clean everything as I put it on, so I like the flame, or the oil separator here. This was cut apart and cleaned out and epoxied back together, and fresh gaskets under it and O-ring. The only thing I had to do here with this motor was, since it came out of a 940, a 94 940, which, by the way, let me see if I can get my light on my phone and show you why you want this one. Where are they? Over here, if you look. Ah, yeah, right there. There are the oil squirters that you want. So this is a squirter motor, big rods, zero wear at the top of the bores. There's nothing. They're still hatching them. They're great. So everything else looked good. When I was pulling it apart, I was inspecting everything. The oil came out, was still pretty good. Obviously it was old, but there was nothing in it. There was no flakes or metal or anything. The oil pickup looks good. Everything looked great. I'm trying to think any other issues. Oh, so because this was a 94 940 motor, that has the distributor in the back of the cylinder head back there, and it's going into 240, and the distributor in the back of the head would hit the firewall. So we had to pull out the auxiliary shaft here, I guess is what you call it. I don't know, I guess this is the auxiliary gear for the distributor, but you can see, oh, let me get my light again. The one that came out, which I don't have laying here, had a non-machined boss in the shaft. Can we see? Let me see if I can get it in here. There's for the mechanical fuel pump if it had one that's not machined out. But the shaft down there needs oh yeah, there it is. You can just make out, see the gears down there? And this is just for the distributor for the 240 setup. So got that pulled out of the other motor and the 242 motor and put it in here. So that's ready to go. Again, the only thing that's really holding me up is that gasket that goes around the rear main seal cover plate thing that goes on the back of the block. And then that can go back together. The cylinder head I think I'm going to use, we'll go down and look at it. I didn't pull it off the other motor yet. I have to pull the head bolts and use those. Wagon motor is up here and getting ready for this swap here. So he's still accumulating gaskets and seals and everything for this. So this one's pretty much ready to go. I think, we're going to do the oil pan gasket in this because this was never done. And once it's in the car, it's a pain to do it. If it starts leaking, you either have to pull the motor or drop the front subframe. Well, I guess it's a subframe. There's two bolts over here, two over here, and you let the whole front end sag down enough that you can get the pan out. It's a real pain in the ass. We actually had to do it on this car. So anyway, that's that one. And here's a closer look of the Bullseye Performance 0.70 AR hot side. Let's see if I can spin this over. It is much smaller, and I don't have it tight or anything yet because I'm gonna have to clock it, but it's much smaller. I mean, here it is next to a standard water bottle size. So I'm going to rebuild this before I throw it back on. And let's see, headers over there. I thought you already saw Dad's cylinder head that's done. So this has kind of been, I like working up here versus the other garage. So I just kind of bring whatever I need up and then set up a table. And then I can work out in the driveway and do whatever I need to and clean it up. This oil filter is not going to stay here. I do have the arm laying right here. I'm going to clean this up real well. This is like hydraulic line that I had used on here to go to the air-cooled oil cooler. But what I need to do is weld on some little dimples, little nipple things around the end of these metal pipes. That way this has something to like pull against or clamp up against. Because I did have, this was the issue in the 242, it popped one of these and that was what caused me to drive, and I didn't have a working oil pressure gauge and it completely drained the motor of oil. And now that motor is toast. So I shouldn't say it's toast, but it needs all new bearings, and I'd have to check the crank journals and everything. Here's the oil pan. Still need to finish getting this cleaned up. I got the oil pretty much cleaned out of it. I'm not gonna. It's drying right now. I had gunked that. So now we'll go back and look at the other car, which I got pulled apart. Da-da-da-da. I did this last weekend. I had pulled the car apart. Yeah, because the video I posted. So here is the motor and trans pulled out. I've pretty much stripped this thing because the brackets and stuff that I need off of it for the other motor, my dad's cleaning up for me. So here is the AW71 that I need to separate yet. This is in good shape. This has low miles on it. Well, low, 100 and probably 120, 140, something like that. It's pretty fresh. It shifts nice and hard, no slipping. So this is going to make its way in the 244 with that starter. And this overdrive in this car, the 242, had never worked, but that's because the shifter wiring was never hooked up from the swap. This was originally a stick shift car, and when I did the swap, I never took the time to switch all the wiring over, so I never knew if this overdrive worked. So, but in bench testing, when you put 12 volts to the solenoid, the overdrive solenoid does click and kick and work. So I'll see when I put it in the other car. I have a feeling that when I hook up the wiring correctly, it's going to work. So this cylinder head might be the one I use. I think this is a turbo head, but I'm going to take it down to the machine shop and have them check it, go over it, clean it. If they need to do any work to it, surfacing or anything, they can go ahead and do it. IPD turbo cam and custom oil cooler or trans cooler lines that are going to go in the other car. They ride up against the frame rail. The only issue I'm looking at here is, I don't know if you can tell, but these teeth on this IPD cam are wearing. So I don't know what if I'm gonna use this or not. It's a square tooth. I think I just need a Nuke Performance cam gear. That's round tooth, and that 94 squirter motor was a round tooth motor, so I have all the other acceptable or correct gears for it. So here's the auxiliary shaft that was pulled out in the distributor that was repurposed. I still got to get the starter off, separate the trans. I need these head bolts yet. They are only used once in here, so they're stretch bolts, but they're still good. You can use them like 3 or 4 times. And the 242 is just sitting here in its sad, lonely state of empty, lost feelings and depression. But lots of things are going to happen to this. I got to pull all the wiring out. This I can't wait to get started on. I'm very excited to do. Still up in the air with what motor and driveline I want to put in this. I'm really leaning hard towards a white block 5-cylinder with a nice decent sized hull sit on it, or maybe an actual Precision or something. We'll see what budget allows. And maybe a Getrag transmission and an 8.8 on the Mustang in the rear, or well, as the rear. But we'll see. I'm still trying to decide what I want to do. I mean, I could always LS swap the thing. I just kind of want to keep this car as a Volvo based Volvo. I had thrown around the idea of 4.8 or 5.3ing the gray car, the 244, but due to time limitations and money, and I need a daily driver and everything, I have all of the parts to make it work with a really decent red block setup with a 4-cylinder and big turbo and everything, so why not just do that? I have everything here. It's not really costing me much of anything except gaskets and seals, and then I know that it'll be good for a long time. I mean, with all new gaskets and seals and transmission that's low miles and everything else, I should be in good shape. So that is that. And the Mustang is still just kind of sitting out there again. The 244 is my main priority right now, just because I want to have something I don't have to worry about getting to work and back. And I think really that's about it. So I should have more stuff done this week. I have to get obviously the gasket, or the gasket I need yet. And motor mounts, I'm going to make solid motor mounts, so I'm just going to take, so here's one stuck in the car yet still, how convenient. I'm probably going to get new ones, but what I'm going to do is put like a metal plate on the top and like a metal plate on the bottom, and then weld around and form a metal, like a metal sheath almost around this rubber, and just make solid mounts. Because Volvo motor mounts are known for getting soft, and I fought with them a lot, and they're really frustrating, and the motor wants to torque, and it lays over this way, and then with the header set up, the turbo touches the strut tower, and the if you have a wastegate, my wastegate was actually moving that much that it was chattering right there up against the, only under power when the motor was torqued over. But I'm tired of, they get soaked in oil or they get any sort of fluid, coolant or anything on them, they just turn to mush. So I'm gonna make them solid because I'm sick of it. And I'm gonna make a solid trans mount. I'm gonna do the same thing with that way, because you can't mix and match solid and rubber. And then I don't really have to worry too much about a flex joint or a flex section in my downpipe and exhaust, which on the 244 I'm actually going to run 3-inch downpipe into 3-inch oval all the way back through the car, 3-inch oval up over the axle and down, and then convert it to 3-inch back round again, and then put the catalytic converter right here where the muffler would have been, and then kick it out stock with the 3-inch straight piece. And where's my catalytic converter? Well, there's one of them. I have a, oh, there it is, it's hiding back there. I'm gonna jam some 3-inch pipe through that bad boy right there, weld it around so it looks real-ish, and then weld it in. It's gonna be some super high performance, high flow cat action. So, until next weekend, or sooner if I get stuff done, I'll post another one.